Hi folks, welcome to another Wednesday Wisdom. My name is Anna Hendricks. Thanks so much for being here. This week I want to take a little break from my usual topics and talk about something that I think is really important, and that is getting out and voting. So the number one thing I will not be doing in this video is trying to persuade you to vote one way or the other. What is most important to me that I get across to you is just the importance of voting and why I think you should get out there and do it. Voting is something that is a privilege. It's a right. The thing is, voting is something that our the early Americans fought for. And it's also something that people around the world are still fighting for. We take it for granted. We just think, oh, okay, it's voting season, it's election season, whatever. And while a lot of people are out there right now saying that they don't want to vote because of this person or this person, they're not happy with this election's choices, the bottom line is that America is in our hands. And if you don't participate in it, then you can't be a part of it. We don't realize that it affects every single aspect of our life. And it's very crucial that we get involved. There's so many people I've seen online throughout the last several months. They've got an opinion. They've got so many opinions. And then at the very end of it, they're just like, well, I'm not voting. I don't like the choices, so I'm not getting involved. And personally, I think that's a cop-out. We have a privilege. We have been given this right. And if we're actually understanding the huge responsibility of a vote, there's zero reason why we should not be. So, as always, 3 reasons why. First one, it affects every level of our lives. We live in a society that is governed by elected officials. Whether it's the presidential election, whether it's local, it doesn't matter. It affects everything. From our healthcare to homeland security, it's very crucial that we vote. When you think about it, the president is only capable of doing so many things, and it's not just up to one person. So when you think, okay, I'm going to not vote just because I'm upset with this president, you're also not voting at the state and local level. You're also not voting for things like education, for taxes, for roads being repaved, for water systems, for all kinds of things that could build up the community around you. We have to participate if we want things to change. So when we don't participate by voting, we don't participate in the things that matter to us. These are things that affect every person. So when I see someone saying that, I'm not gonna vote because I don't need to get involved, or it's not really affecting me, and so I'm just not gonna talk about it. Guess what? Voting affects everyone. And it affects everyone at every level. Even though the presidential election is the main topic these days, I'm talking about at the local level, at our state levels. We have to participate if we want to be engaged in the government and society we live in. Number 2, by choosing not to vote, we're denying the privilege of being involved in our communities. Do you know that in most communities, the voter turnout is less than 50%? That's crazy, because I guarantee you way more than 50% of people have an opinion about every decision that's being made, especially on the local level. Because when we're upset about things being built, when we're upset about education, when we're upset about the things going on in our community, and we're not voting, then we're basically just sitting around our dining room table and moaning and groaning. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of your time. Get out there and vote on our mayors, on our Senate, on our Congress, on our representatives across the board. Third thing, voting is a right generations have fought for, and many countries around the world are still fighting for. It wasn't until 1919 that women could even vote. And now the silent majority is educated women and minorities. That is incredible. That shows us how far our nation has come. Because when we don't vote, our representation is not indicative of who we are at home, and that's huge. We need to get out there, we need to vote, we need to participate, because our demographics are changing, our issues are changing, And if we actually want people in office who can do something about that, we have to actively participate in it. The bottom line is we should never take voting for granted because it makes our democracy stronger. And then our government is more indicative of who we are at every level. You know, people are constantly complaining about how the government doesn't do this for them, doesn't do that for them. They want to blame it on one person, like the President of the United States has the ability to make all of the decisions. It's not true. We have government at local levels, state levels. There's so much government that we need to participate in voting for. So I not only encourage you to get out and vote, but I also encourage you to continue voting, to get involved in your communities on a local level, on a state level, to watch the politicians, to find out who you want to stand with and to get behind them and cast your vote. Because it is a privilege. It's a privilege that we should never take for granted. America is a free nation because people fought for it. And voting is just one of those rights. I hope that you have an incredible week, that you come back and hang out with me next Wednesday, and we'll see you then.